This right here, oh my goodness. And there goes the card. In a world filled with unsustainable practices, it's time for stationery to evolve and use sustainable local production methods. So your stationery has been shipped in plastic-free packaging. Everything can be recycled. And then it says, thank you so much for helping us shape the future of Hemlock and Oak. And it has a designer's name. I believe it's Tia Marie. When I saw this, it is stunning. 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 All right, so we're going to get started on this bullet journal, so stay tuned and listen up. So I'm going to take my beautiful Hemlock and Oak bullet journal. This is a graph bullet journal, and the paper and the quality of this is just everything. Do you hear the sound of this paper? It's so rich, and the brand is sustainable, which I love. Now I'm going to take my Ranger archival ink, and I'm going to stamp my name in brown. Now, if you notice, I don't necessarily stamp the straightest or symmetrical out of any planner or journaler I know, but it wouldn't be my planner or bullet journal if it was straight. I really just love the ability to create something using stamps. It gives me a tactile ability to personalize something that I was just so excited to get started on. And I really loved how these letters came out. They're lowercase, and I thought it was just everything me, and I absolutely loved it. It gave it this aesthetic that I really appreciated. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over, and as you can see in this bullet journal, there is an index. I know not everyone loves an index, but I didn't mind the index there because I'm going to place my key right next to it. And I'm using this beautiful blue lace paper from Amazon, and I ordered it and I thought it was just gorgeous. I love the blue. And I went ahead and used my Tombow adhesive to kind of paste that onto the paper. The paper is super thick, so you could pretty much do anything you want with it, but I tried to get this as centered as possible, and I really just love this aesthetic. Then I took some ephemera. This is like a little postage card, and I decided to place that as centered as possible because I wanted to write my key here. Now, I needed to cover up that card postal that's written there, so I decided to kind of take some craft paper because I'm going to figure out where I want to place this craft paper and how I want this simple key to look, because when you open it up, that's one of the first things you're going to see is this key page. So I took this paper Minty Studio washi, and I really wanted to kind of place that in the center to cover that up. And then I wanted to add the paper that I tore to the corner to kind of stamp in the word key. It's super simple, 3 letters, and I thought it would give it a beautiful just effect. And it really went with what I wanted to achieve, which was kind of like academia, library, minimal type of setup. And I really was inspired by Tracy. She has a YouTube channel, and I saw her creating something very similar to this. And I wanted to put my own spin on it and really just kind of use stickers, washi, ephemera, paper to start layering. I really love layering. I really love using stickers. I really love using ephemera to really have my own style. And this is the page. So the next page I'm going to set up is a folder that's in the front of the bullet journal. And this paper is also another Amazon find. And I really wanted to round out the corners. So I'm using a basic staple rounder. And I'm going to go ahead and round those out and then also make sure I match the folder part, so I had to round out those corners. And then I went ahead and placed my Tombow adhesive around the paper. Now, when it comes to this type of paper, from what I noticed, slow is the best way to go. And also, when I wanted to paste it, I wanted to get it as centered as possible. Now, for making the folder, make sure you place your adhesive right on the very edges because you want to make sure you're creating a pocket. And I'm going to test out this pocket in a few seconds with this beautiful tag that I found. And I really want to personalize it, so I kind of want to stick it in there without forgetting. So I'm using another piece of ephemera, and I'm going to go ahead and use the Tombow again. And I'm going to place it in the center, or as centered as possible. And here comes the Paper Minty Studio washi. Again, I just love this washi. I am literally obsessed with this washi. I love that it's like brown and kind of like craft paper, and that there's little florals in there. And for me, it's like starting the beginning of the year, starting something new, and I really love that. I then took this kind of like circular stamp, and I went ahead and placed more adhesive on there because I wanted that to be in the corner, and it gave it a little kind of aesthetic. Like I said, it's like academia, floral, minimal vibes, and I really love this tag. So I'm going to personalize this tag, but I wanted to place it there because I did not want to forget it. And now I'm finding these beautiful words that I purchased from Love of Stationery, New York. And I went ahead and placed a word in there, a phrase, believe in yourself. And I just love her shop. I found her on Etsy. I know I'm going to get questions. And now I'm cornering or rounding the corners again using that same Michaels rounder. And again, with my Tombow adhesive, I'm going all the way around and just kind of making sure that my page is adhered. And you really want to take your time doing this. I know like sometimes it can get a little overwhelming, but I really planned on doing a couple of spreads and that was it because I didn't want to overwhelm myself. Now I'm taking another piece of ephemera, and all this came from a Paper Minty Studio box that I purchased over Christmas, and I really just love this. And I'm taking more of that washi tape and again cutting it and placing it in the corners because I really wanted to have like this scrapbook feel. And for me, my aesthetic is just using layers, paper, stickers, fashion dolls, things like that to kind of personalize it. You will never see me draw anything. I'm really not great at drawing certain things. So for me, it's like the simpler, the better when it comes to drawing. But I do love using stickers, stamps, ephemera, papers, anything that I can use to kind of personalize something, I will do. So I'm stamping 2023. And then on the other side, I'm going to stamp social media journal. Now from here, I started getting a little more confident. And as you can see, my letters are coming a little closer together. They're also kind of lining up a little more symmetrical, but I do appreciate that it's not completely even or in a line. I just kind of like that it's a little off. It really makes it feel like mine because I never do anything straight. So although this was a very long title, Social Media Journal, I did want to go ahead and put it in there because this is what I'm using this bullet journal for. And I really got inspired to start this because I really wanted to kind of open up my creative flow and really have a place where I can kind of experiment with paper and with stickers. So that's why I did it. Now I'm taking this beautiful mushy work sticker again. And this is a fashion doll that you can find on Etsy. I love her shop as well. And once again, I'm taking these words from the Love of Stationery, New York, and I'm placing it here. Live, create, tell the story. And I thought this was perfect for my bullet journal because social media for me is like sharing my videos on planning, organization, things that I use to make my life as a mom and caregiver and someone who works just a little more easier. And as you know, caregiving is very, very time consuming and it definitely takes up a lot of your energy. So you do want to be very organized. I decided to also take this Lauren Phelps designed buffalo print washi and place that above the Paper Minty Studio washis just to kind of give it more texture, match the color, and add more layers. And I really just loved how this turned out. I just love using words, and I think it really gives it a good feel, and it really was something for me to look forward to. So right now we're looking at the key page, the intro page, the little folder, and then just what the bullet journal's for, right? So now we're going on to the next spread. Now for this spread, I decided to make a yearly overview, and I wanted to tear some paper, kind of like how I plan in my Hobonichi weeks. And I really wanted it to be like a top and a bottom, and I really wanted to get complementary colors. Now, the only thing with this paper is that it has a little bit of shine to it, and it's not so matte. And then when you cut it, you can clearly see like these white edges, which is fine, but I really kind of wanted to make sure it wasn't showing too much of the edging, and I really wanted to get the contrast of color in. And it also was two-sided, but I just really was loving the blues and kind of like the floral pattern, so that's what I stuck to. And I went ahead and placed that both at the top corner and the bottom corner of the opposite sides of the page, because I wanted to create something that was just going to be beautiful. So you're going to see coming up how I kind of set this up. I was kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to place here. And with this page, it was a little time consuming because it took a lot of time to figure out what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to write the title of what this page was. I wanted to find a placement for it. And initially when I did this page, I was happy. But then when it came down to the stamping, I was like, oh my goodness, this is very crooked. You're going to see. And I had to switch this page up, which you will also see in the end, because you are going to see how I set up the months, and it will explain everything. Like, I don't mind everything being a little off center, but you're definitely going to see what I'm talking about. So here I wrote creativity takes courage, and I put in a Mushy Works doll, and I absolutely love that one. And then I'm placing my trackers here, and these trackers are basically going to be my monthly calendars. I'm going to place a sticker of the month above where it says tracker, and as you can see, it's not the straightest, it's not lined up, and I'm trying to place stickers on it because I really want to see how this would look in the end. And I know for some people, just having this happen, they will be like, oh, this is not great, I'm going to tear out this page. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do if there is a mess up, or you have to cut out another piece of paper and kind of glue another piece on top. I've seen it happen in the bullet journal community, and just know that this is your bullet journal. So if you make a mistake, do whatever you want. You need to be happy with your bullet journal. So I'm placing the stickers here one by one, and I was not going to number these. I definitely numbered these off camera because that would have taken more time. And from what I noticed, these bullet journal videos are much longer to film than just planning videos. So this was how it looked. And I didn't mind how it looked, but I messed up on writing the numbers. And that to me was the most kind of annoying little boo-boo I made, because at the end of the day, when I was looking on one half of the calendar, everything was great. The other half, I messed up on the numbers, and I couldn't use that page because the numbers were all off. So you're going to see what I talk about towards the end. So now I'm going into another page here, and I really wanted to create trackers, and I wanted to create trackers for my YouTube and Instagram social media platforms. One is going to be a growth tracker, just tracking how many subscribers and followers I have. And the other one was for when I post content. So if I'm posting a video on YouTube, I'm going to check that off. Or I post a reel or an Instagram post on Instagram, then I'm also going to X that off and place it in my tracker. So I really just wanted to make sure that this page was simple, because most of the context is going to be centered on that page. Now, I really loved how this turned out, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because I was like, okay, how do I want to write trackers? How do I want to place the trackers? And this is where I say like most of the creativity happens is like when you're trying to figure out where you want to place something and you want to kind of make something look nice, and you definitely want to make sure that it stands out. And I decided to try the brown stamping pad, and I did like the way it looked, but I feel like the black stands out more. And you're going to see what I talk about because of my error in the previous page with the dated numbers. This page also gets impacted, but I do want to show the process of how I created this because you don't have to create millions of boxes. You could literally just create a 2-page spread and write down the 12 months, and then you can create columns of whatever you want and kind of track that very simply. You don't have to like create boxes or do a whole graph. I know some people do, but if you're getting started in bullet journaling like I was again, then you want to keep it simple. And before I joined this YouTube community, the way I started planning or tried to plan was in a bullet journal. And for me, I was just like, oh, I love it, but then it wasn't working for me. And I had to discover what I wanted in a planner. So that's how that spread came out. And then I wanted to go ahead and do like a yearly snapshot of my year. And I wanted to create an entire page because what I'm going to do with this is place my videos, the best performing videos, in the snapshot. So I'm going to take one piece of larger paper. This is from the lace collection in Amazon. And then the other beautiful florals that I got, and I'm going to place that right on top. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this craft paper, and I'm going to place that right in the center because literally all I'm going to do is take my best performing videos, the little thumbnails, and I'm going to paste 12 of them in that rectangular space that I have here. So again, I'm taking this paper Minty Studio washi and placing it, and then I have an extra piece and I was like, where am I going to place this? As you can see, I added more things to this page. I definitely wrote my key, and then I added more stickers and more washi, and I really liked how that came out. It's like creating an outfit, right? Here's my folder, and there goes my tracker. My tracker was looking amazing, and I really liked how it looked. And as you can see, I definitely changed how I wanted my tracker to look. So as you can see, I have my stickers here, and this is a super simple way to track what you're doing, right? I literally have 1 through 31 and then the months, and then I have the months here and YouTube and Instagram, and I'm literally writing down how many followers and subscribers I have. And then if I post, I can do that. So let's take a look at this whole setup. Here's my name. Love that. The index, the key. Here goes my folder. I love the little ephemera I placed there. Social media journal, my redone little yearly overview, which I love now. And then my trackers for social media and my snapshot of the year. And that is everything. I really hope you enjoyed this video.